You're tuned into the Last Signal Radio. I'm your host, and if you're still out there, still listening, then hold on tight, because tonight, the sky itself is reminding us just how fragile our existence really is. It's strange, isn't it? How something as simple as a meteor shower, something that once sparked wonder and awe, has now turned into an event unlike anything we've ever witnessed. It's almost like the sky, once our comforting canopy, is no longer a friend, but a foreboding force. And as I sit here, watching the streaks of fire across the heavens, I can't help but think, this wasn't meant to happen. This wasn't supposed to be our reality. The first reports came in hours ago. A flurry of small meteors, then larger, and larger still. At first it was almost comforting, like nature was reminding us of the beauty and power of the universe. But now, it's different. It's a reminder, all right, but not one of awe. No, it's a warning, a sign that everything we thought we understood about this world is coming apart at the seams. The meteor shower is relentless. What was once just a celestial spectacle, a few bright flashes, a few fleeting moments of brilliance, has turned into a storm. The meteors are bigger now, some almost as large as buildings, burning with an intensity that seems to defy the natural laws we once believed to be unbreakable. Every hour, they fall faster, harder, closer. And the truth is, no one knows how long this will last. No one knows what happens when the sky continues to fall like this. Will it be the end? Will these falling stars burn us all alive? Or will they tear the earth open and swallow us whole? It's impossible to predict the world we once knew, with its rules, its systems, its guarantees. It's gone. And in its place, we're left with this. An event that feels both catastrophic and unavoidable. Something that was always destined to happen. Only no one thought it would come like this. The fire that streaks across the heavens isn't like the sparks of distant stars anymore. No, this is something else. Something raw. Something violent. It's a force that has no mercy. The stars, those pinpricks of light we once admired from the safety of our homes, have turned into burning meteors, and it seems as though every new streak is brighter, fiercer, as if the heavens are fighting back. We are witnessing a world-changing event, the likes of which we've never been prepared for. The flames that tear through the sky aren't just for show. They are harbingers. They are the universe's way of telling us that this world we've built, with all its institutions, its technology, its comforts, it was always temporary fragile. But here's the unsettling truth. We don't know how much longer this will go on. We don't know if this is just the beginning, or if the worst is yet to come. Every minute that passes brings more meteors, more fiery streaks across the sky. The ground shakes beneath us. Buildings tremble as the heat and the shockwave from each impact hit harder. In some places, fires are already breaking out, consuming everything in their path. The skies above have turned to fire, and the world below is burning with it. The heavens aren't just falling, they're breaking apart. What's more frightening than the meteors themselves is the knowledge that we may be witnessing the breaking of a pattern, a cosmic cycle that we never truly understood. Did we bring this upon ourselves? Or is this just nature's way of showing us how small and insignificant we really are in the grand scheme of things? What makes this even more terrifying is the realization that we are powerless against it. There's nowhere to run. nowhere to hide. When the sky itself turns hostile, what can we do but wait and watch? Maybe this is what we deserve. Or maybe it's just the inevitable course of the universe. The intensity of the meteors is unlike anything we've seen before. They seem almost alive, as if they're seeking us out. Or perhaps it's the Earth that's inviting them. Are we merely the unwilling participants in some greater cosmic drama? The destruction that's happening isn't just a spectacle. It's a sign. A sign that the time of calm is over. We are witnessing the end of something. But we don't know what. The sky above is full of rage now. It's as if everything that was once stable, everything that we took for granted, is coming undone. And all we can do is watch, helpless. The meteors aren't just pieces of rock. They are symbols. Symbols of the decay of the old world, the ashes of a dying order. A new world is emerging, and we're nothing more than witnesses to its birth. Or its death. What comes next? Will the skies keep falling? Will the earth tremble until it cracks open? Are these meteors the final act of a planet that has decided to cast us off? We can only wait. And as we wait, all we can do is keep our eyes to the sky. Hold on tight. Because the world we knew is disappearing piece by piece, and in its place, something darker is taking shape. Something we're not ready for. The first reports started hours ago. A spike in activity, a flurry of rocks and burning stones falling from the sky. It seemed harmless at first, something people could watch from rooftops and open fields, recording the streaks of light as they cut across the night. For a moment, it almost felt beautiful, like the universe was putting on a show to remind us of its power. But beauty has a way of turning cruel. As the minutes ticked by, the streaks became denser, brighter, and the air began to tremble with distant rumbles that no one could quite explain. What was once a quiet display became a storm of fire, and the horizon started to glow with an unnatural red haze. The temperature rose, the sky deepened into a sickening orange, and the faint sound of impact began to echo from far-off lands. Those who stood watching quickly ran for shelter, though no one knew where safety could truly be found. Scientists called it an anomaly, then an event, then stopped calling it anything at all when the instruments went dark. The meteors didn't fall in patterns anymore. They came in waves, furious, unpredictable, as if drawn by something beneath the surface. Cities began to lose power. Networks failed. The world grew quieter as the sky grew louder. And with every falling stone, it became clear this wasn't just a meteor shower. It wasn't a coincidence, and it wasn't harmless. It was something else entirely, something deliberate, something that felt alive. We've seen meteor showers before, the kind that brings awe and wonder, the kind that lights up the sky like a fireworks display, leaving trails of light that vanish as quickly as they appear. A brief but beautiful reminder of the universe's vastness. We marveled at them, gathered in open fields to watch the sky spark with brilliance, as if the heavens were sending us a gift. But tonight, there's no celebration tonight. It's as if the stars themselves are falling, and they're falling fast, each one leaving a streak of fire that seems to burn deeper into the fabric of the sky. These aren't the gentle showers we're used to, the ones that fade away without a trace. No. Tonight, the meteors come with a violence, with an urgency, like they have somewhere to be, like they're being pulled toward us. The air is thick with heat as the first waves hit, and the ground trembles beneath our feet as if the earth itself is recoiling from the impact. What once felt like an occasional celestial show now feels like an invasion. The sky isn't offering us beauty tonight. It's showing us its wrath. These aren't just rocks falling from space. No, these are signs. They are harbingers of something much darker, something much closer than we ever thought possible. And with each new flash of light across the heavens, the question hangs in the air. How long until we are consumed by it? Hundreds, maybe thousands of meteors streaking across the sky, each one a blazing trail of destruction, slicing through the atmosphere with terrifying speed. Not just small flashes of light, the kind you see in an ordinary meteor shower, but massive rocks, some as big as mountains, breaking through the upper layers of the atmosphere with an intensity that feels almost intentional. These aren't just stones from space. They're projectiles, sent on a trajectory that leads only one place, the Earth. Their descent is inevitable, and it's unlike anything we've ever witnessed. The air feels heavier, charged with the energy of their arrival. A moment ago, the sky was serene, almost indifferent, and now it's a churning sea of fire. The meteors don't burn out in midair like they're supposed to. No, they keep falling, each one glowing brighter and brighter as it nears the ground, leaving behind a trail of heat that distorts the very air around it. Some are the size of cars, others the size of buildings, and a few, you can only imagine the impact if they hit. The size of mountains, tumbling from the heavens like cosmic hammers. The world beneath them is not merely witnessing this spectacle. It is feeling the weight of every single strike. The ground beneath our feet shudders with every impact, as if the earth itself is reacting, recoiling from the devastation falling from above. The rumble echoes for miles, vibrations so powerful they shake entire cities to their core, rattling buildings, collapsing bridges, and splitting roads wide open. Each strike feels like the beginning of something far worse, a warning from a sky that no longer feels distant but dangerously close, almost within reach. The atmosphere itself seems to crackle with electricity, as if the very fabric of the air is being torn apart by the force of these rocks plummeting to Earth. The night, once dark and calm, is now alive with the harsh light of burning meteors, casting long, twisted shadows across a landscape that's beginning to unravel. The fire from the falling rocks isn't like the kind we've seen before. It's ferocious, relentless. Buildings catch fire as if they're made of paper. Forests ignite in seconds, and entire valleys become infernos, their outlines obscured by the thick clouds of smoke. The world is starting to feel the weight of the sky's wrath. What once seemed distant and unreachable, something we could only read about in books or watch in movies, is now here in real time, happening in front of us. And with each passing minute, the sky is giving us no mercy. The meteors keep coming, each one more intense, more destructive than the last. And beneath it all, we're left wondering, how long before we are no longer just witnesses to this destruction, but victims of it? How long until the Earth, already trembling beneath the impacts, can no longer take the weight of the heavens? It's hard to know where it starts and where it ends. The fire in the sky, the cracks in the earth. The line between the heavens and the ground is blurring, like some kind of cosmic rift, tearing apart everything we thought we understood. The meteors keep falling, a relentless torrent, and each one seems to ignite something deep within the earth itself. Fires rage where they strike, but it's more than just fire now. The ground is cracking open in places. Whole landscapes splitting apart like the earth is trying to expel whatever's been buried inside it for centuries. The air is thick with smoke and ash, so dense you can barely see your hand in front of your face, and it smells like the end. It's hard to tell whether this is just nature's fury or something far beyond that. Could this be nature's response to us? A reckoning for all the damage we've done? Or is it something else entirely? Maybe it's not just a freak meteor shower, but a sign of something much larger, something far older than anything we could have imagined. Could this be the universe's way of saying enough? Of finally reclaiming the space we've taken for granted? Maybe it's a warning. A warning that we're already too late to stop. That whatever we thought we could control, whatever we thought we could understand, is slipping out of our reach. Maybe this is the final sign of a world already slipping into chaos. A world that has been on the brink for too long, teetering between survival and annihilation. Maybe we've reached the point where the sky itself is sending us a message. We thought we could conquer it all, the land, the seas, the stars. But tonight, we're reminded that we're nothing more than specks in a much larger universe. A universe that's as indifferent as it is unforgiving. And now, we're starting to feel the weight of that indifference. The weight of a world that has long been slipping into chaos, one impact at a time. As these meteors continue to rain down, the world below has already begun to fracture under the weight of their fury. Some areas have reported fires starting, spreading with a vicious hunger, consuming everything in their path. It doesn't take long for entire neighborhoods to catch fire, their structures disintegrating into ash as the meteors strike with brutal force. Buildings that once stood tall, symbols of human achievement and security, crumble under the intense heat and shockwaves that rip through the air. The sound of metal and glass shattering, of concrete crumbling into dust, is constant, a backdrop to the storm that rages above us. The earth itself seems to be shaking, convulsing with every impact, as if trying to rid itself of the damage we've done to it. The fires grow uncontrollable, fueled by the debris and the burning meteors, and soon the entire landscape is bathed in an eerie red glow, like the world is being consumed by an eternal sunset. The atmosphere is thick with smoke, acrid and choking, swirling through the air, clinging to everything it touches. The once fresh air has turned to poison, and it's nearly impossible to see through the haze of ash and soot that hangs over everything. Visibility is almost non-existent, and all that remains is a landscape twisted by flame and ruin. The light from the meteors, their intense, fiery glow, casts long, distorted shadows, making everything feel warped, unnatural. The night is no longer dark. It's a sickly twilight where everything seems to glow in an otherworldly, unnatural light. The heat is stifling, oppressive, suffocating, and with each new meteor that strikes, the world feels a little smaller, a little more suffocating. The chaos is overwhelming, and the world, once so full of life and possibility, is now a place of destruction. The end of days doesn't feel like a distant prophecy anymore. It feels real, palpable, as though it's unfolding before our eyes. Each breath is heavier than the last. Each step feels more futile. There is no escaping this, no hiding from what's happening. All we can do is watch as the flames grow higher, as the meteors continue to fall, and as the world we knew slips further into the abyss. You've felt it, haven't you? The shaking beneath your feet, the tremors that seem to echo the chaos above. At first, it was just a low rumble, something distant, like a storm gathering on the horizon. But now it's different. Now it feels like the earth itself is alive, like it's trembling under the weight of what's happening above. The vibrations are constant, growing stronger, pulsing with each new impact. The ground shudders beneath us, as if it's trying to shake off the heavy weight of the meteors crashing into its surface. It's as if the Earth is holding its breath, bracing itself for something worse, something even more destructive. We've all felt it, that sense of impending doom that's hanging in the air like a storm cloud that won't break every tremor. Every shudder of the Earth is a reminder that we're powerless in the face of this cosmic fury. We're all waiting now, waiting for the fallout, waiting for the next strike, the next meteor to break through the sky and slam into the ground with a force that feels too big to comprehend. The meteors don't just fall anymore. They crash. They tear through the Earth like they're trying to dig deep into its core. We don't know what will come next. Will the sky continue to rain fire, or will the Earth finally give way and swallow us whole? There's no way to know. We're all just standing here, suspended in this moment of uncertainty as the world trembles beneath us, and all we can do is wait. Wait for the next wave of destruction. Wait for the storm to break. Wait for whatever this celestial storm has in store. There's no escape, no refuge from it. We're caught in its path, and all we can do is hold our breath and hope we make it through. We don't know how long this will last. How much longer until we feel the full force of the meteors hitting the ground. The sky above is relentless, and each strike seems to bring us closer to the edge. Every impact sends a shockwave rippling through the Earth, each one louder, harder, more violent than the last. The tremors grow stronger, the heat more unbearable. It's as if the sky itself is growing more determined. Each new meteor, a signal that things are only going to get worse. The meteors aren't just falling anymore. They're smashing, they're shattering, and the ground beneath us is buckling, groaning under the weight of their fury. How long before the Earth itself cracks open? How much longer until the full scale of this disaster is upon us? We don't know. No one knows. We can't even begin to guess. Each minute feels like an eternity, and with every passing second, the sense of dread deepens. It's not just the meteors themselves, but the uncertainty of it all that makes it unbearable. There's no clear end in sight, no sign that the storm is dying down. It could go on for hours, days, weeks, or it could end tomorrow with one final cataclysmic blow. We simply don't know. And for those of us still here, still watching, still trying to survive, it's the unknown that keeps us on edge. It's the not knowing that gnaws at us, the thought that we might not have enough time to prepare for what comes next. The sky keeps falling, and with every new impact we feel the weight of it more. We're all waiting for the moment when the world will change irrevocably, when there's no going back. The air feels heavy, thick with anticipation, as if the Earth itself is holding its breath, waiting for something to break. And we, the ones still standing, are left to wonder, how long can we keep going? How long before the last blow comes, before everything we've ever known is reduced to ashes? It's the unknown that keeps us on edge, that keeps us watching the sky with wide eyes and hearts that race. And with each passing meteor, we're reminded that the answers may never come. All we can do is wait and endure. You might be thinking about your safety, your family, your shelter, where you can go, where you can hide. Maybe you've already tried to find somewhere safe, somewhere that will shield you from the madness above, a place to ride out the storm, a temporary refuge from the chaos that's sweeping across the land. But the truth is, there's nowhere to run from this, no escape from a sky that's falling. The meteors don't care about walls or bunkers or shelters. They don't care about where you think you can hide. You can shelter yourself beneath the earth. You can flee to the mountains. But the sky will still find you. The heavens have turned their fury onto this world. And no matter how far you run, the fire will chase you. There's no escaping the weight of the earth shaking beneath your feet. No escaping the sound of buildings crumbling. No escaping the smoke that clouds the air, choking the life out of everything you can hide, but you can't outrun it. The meteors will keep coming, falling faster, harder, closer. And even if you make it through the night, even if you find a place to breathe for a while, it's only a matter of time before the next strike hits. The truth is, there's no sanctuary left. The world we once knew, with its comforts and its illusions of safety, is gone. What we thought we could control, what we thought we could protect, is slipping away. And now all we can do is try to survive the storm, to endure as long as we can, knowing that the sky itself is against us. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. All that's left is to face what's coming, together or alone, and hope that somehow we make it through to the other side. Maybe some of us thought we'd be spared. Maybe, deep down, we believed we were safe, that the chaos, the destruction, the inevitable end, it was something that happened to others, not to us. Perhaps we thought we could outlast it, or that somehow the storm would pass us by. Maybe we told ourselves that we had time, that our plans would keep us out of harm's way, that we had some kind of advantage, some trick up our sleeves that would protect us when the world fell apart. But nature, or whatever this is, doesn't care about our plans. It doesn't care about our survival instincts, our ability to adapt, to rebuild. It doesn't care about our hopes or our fears. The sky doesn't distinguish between those who deserve it and those who don't. It doesn't weigh our good intentions or our mistakes. It's indifferent, brutal. It's the raw force of the universe, unshaped by our morals, unaffected by our desires to survive. It doesn't wait for us to be ready. It doesn't pause to give us a chance to fight back. It just is. And it moves with a certainty that we've never known before. We've always lived under the illusion that we were in control, that our survival was something we could manage with the right tools, the right plans. But now, this celestial storm, this overwhelming force from above, is tearing away that illusion. It doesn't care that we're scared, that we have families to protect, that we've lived a lifetime in safety. It's relentless, unforgiving. There's no room for negotiation, no pause in the chaos. It's as if the universe is reminding us that no matter how much we think we can shape our world, we're still at the mercy of forces far beyond our comprehension. Forces that don't care who we are or where we are. They just come, and we either endure or we don't. And right now, all we can do is endure. I've been getting reports from different places, fragments of information carried through broken channels and dying networks. Some say it's the heaviest meteor shower in recorded history, a celestial bombardment so massive it dwarfs anything humanity has ever charted. Others talk about strange readings, spikes in energy radiation patterns that don't match any known element or cosmic event, readings that don't behave like natural space debris at all. It's as if these rocks aren't just meteors, but something else entirely, something foreign, something stamped with a signature that doesn't belong to our corner of the universe. Scientists, or what's left of them, whisper about anomalies in their instruments, about sensors that flicker and overload, about numbers that make no mathematical sense, about data. Bending the rules of physics, like the universe itself, is rewriting its laws in real time. They've seen trajectories shifting, mid-air, impacts, altering course at the last-second paths, curving in ways no meteor should curve, slowing down when they should be accelerating, steering themselves as if guided by something unseen, as if they're choosing where to fall, selecting targets, marking locations with precision that no natural phenomenon could ever achieve. It feels deliberate, intentional, purposeful, like something out there is reaching down into our world not by accident, not by cosmic chance, but by design. And the worst part is, no one knows what that purpose is. Not yet. Only that whatever is falling from the sky tonight isn't behaving like stone or ice or fire. It's behaving like something alive or controlled or aware, something that has a reason for coming here, something that isn't finished with us, not even close. There are rumors from the observatories, the few that are still standing, the ones that haven't been reduced to rubble or swallowed by fire. Scientists speaking in hushed, broken voices about readings they don't have words for. Some say these objects are hollow, not solid like meteors should be, that their scans show empty chambers or shifting interiors, structures that reshape themselves as they fall. Others swear they're emitting pulses, steady rhythmic signals like a heartbeat or a coded transmission repeating patterns that no one can translate, no matter how many times they run it through what's left of their systems. And then there are the radiation signatures readings that look nothing like anything naturally formed, spikes and wavelengths that behave too clean, too consistent, too intentional, like something engineered, built with purpose, designed far beyond anything we've ever held in our hands. People keep trying to dismiss it, trying to calm themselves, trying to stay rooted in the logic that kept the world steady for so long. But you can hear the fear hiding underneath their words. You can hear the cracks in their composure. The truth, they're trying not to say out loud. Maybe these things falling from the sky aren't just rocks. Maybe they're messengers, signals, warnings, openings, beginnings. Maybe they're the first pieces of something we were never meant to understand, something approaching something, arriving, something that chose this moment, this world, this sky, and whatever comes next is already on its way. And maybe the world has been preparing us for something like this for a long time, and we didn't even know it. All the strange events, the unexplained anomalies, the feeling that something was coming, maybe this was it. Maybe all those moments we brushed off as coincidence were just pieces of a larger pattern. Maybe we've been living in the quiet before the storm for far longer than we realized. And now the storm is here, falling from the sky with fire and force and a purpose we can't begin to comprehend. We're witnessing the end of an era, not just the fall of civilization, but the fall of the world as we knew it. The systems we depended on, the cities, the power grids, the governments, the routines that made us feel like life had some kind of order, are collapsing faster than we can understand. Every belief we held about safety, about permanence, about our place in the universe, is being stripped away. It's all unraveling before our eyes, one flaming rock at a time. Each meteor tears another piece out of the life we once recognized. Landmarks that stood for generations vanish in an instant, swallowed by fire and impact. Roads split open. Entire regions go dark. The familiar turns alien. The horizon used to be a symbol of possibility, but now it glows with burning debris and rising smoke. The future doesn't stretch out ahead anymore. It narrows, tightens, shrinks into a single question. How much more can this world take before it breaks completely? We're watching the unraveling in real time, helpless to stop it. Every strike is another thread snapped from the fabric of the reality we thought was stable. Every explosion is another reminder that the era we lived in, the one built on convenience, certainty, and control, is already gone. The end isn't a sudden moment. It's happening piece by piece, impact by impact, until what remains is nothing like the world we thought would last forever. And yet, here we are, broadcasting, sending these words out into a world that feels like it's crumbling in real time, as long as the signal holds, as long as the circuits haven't fried and the wires haven't liquefied under the heat. We keep talking. We keep pushing our voices through the static, through the trembling ground, through the sky that won't stop tearing itself open. Because even when everything else is falling apart, connection still matters. It matters more than ever. A single voice reaching another single voice across the burning dark becomes a lifeline, a thread, a reminder that this planet isn't empty yet, that we haven't vanished into the firestorm. We're still here, faint but present, holding together what little we have left, one broadcast at a time. We keep reminding you you're not alone, that no matter how violent the sky becomes, no matter how the glow of the falling meteors turns night into a sick new daylight, no matter how the ground shakes like it's trying to throw us off its surface, someone else is out there, someone else is breathing, someone else is refusing to let go, someone is fighting against the end, holding on to whatever scraps of hope haven't been burned to ash. And as long as we can send this signal, as long as the tower stands, as long as even a whisper can travel through the chaos, we will keep reaching for you, because that connection might be the last thing left that the storm can't steal. Maybe that's all we have left now, this signal, this fragile thread, this stubborn refusal to go silent, even when everything around us is collapsing. As long as the world keeps shaking, as long as the fire keeps falling, as long as there's still power, humming faintly through these battered cables, we'll stay in the air. We'll keep pushing our voice out into a sky that feels like it's ending, because in moments like these, knowing that another voice is alive out there, knowing someone else is breathing through the fear, holding on through the chaos, that means more than anything. It's the one thing the storm hasn't taken, not yet. And I know you're scared. I know the fear sits heavy, like the ash drifting down from the fires above. I know the questions don't stop. They circle your mind again and again. What will survive? Who will make it through? How much more the world can take before something finally gives way, and everything we know just folds in on itself? The truth is, none of us know. Not the experts who tried to track the meteors before their instruments were burned out. Not the survivors scattered across the darkened cities trying to piece together meaning from the destruction. Not the voices crackling through the static from the edges of the storm, describing horizons they barely recognize anymore. Nobody has the answers. Not now. Not with the world changing faster than we can understand. Not with the sky falling and the ground trembling and the rules of everything we thought we understood unraveling right in front of us all. We have is this moment, this breath, this signal, this shared fear, this shared hope, and the knowledge that as long as you're hearing this, as long as this voice can still reach you, neither of us is facing this ending alone. We only know that it's happening, that the sky is tearing open in ways we were never meant to witness, and the earth is shaking itself apart like it's trying to shed us. The world we built piece by piece over generations is crumbling under the weight of something far bigger, older, and more relentless than anything we ever imagined. And right now, that's all we can hold on to. the certainty that this moment is real, that the fire above us isn't a dream, that the trembling beneath our feet isn't a warning, but a truth. The truth that we are living through it, not watching from a distance, not hearing about it secondhand. We're here inside it, surrounded by a world collapsing one breath at a time, and somehow still standing. Sometimes that's enough. Not answers, not predictions, not guarantees of safety or survival. Just the simple raw truth that we exist in this moment together, still breathing, still holding on, still refusing to disappear into the chaos, even when we have no idea what comes next. Sometimes that tiny defiance, that shared heartbeat in the middle of the falling sky, is enough to keep going, enough to stay alive long enough to see what the next moment brings. You stand there, under that burning sky, feeling the heat on your face, even from miles away. Every streak carving the horizon like the world itself is being rewritten in fire. Every star that once felt distant and safe, now falling like a judgment none of us can outrun. The air trembles, the earth vibrates, and for a moment you feel impossibly small. A single heartbeat beneath collapsing heavens, the question hangs in your mind, heavier than the ash settling on your skin. Is this the moment everything finally breaks? The moment the universe decides our story ends here. No warning, no mercy, no time to take one last breath. The sky doesn't look like a home for dreams anymore. It looks like a wound torn open, spilling fire and fury. And every blazing trail is a reminder that whatever we believed in, whatever stability we thought we had, was nothing but a thin shell cracking under a force too ancient, too vast to comprehend. And we watch because there's nothing else to do. Watch and wait as the world holds its breath under a ceiling that might not last another minute. The meteors don't come in silence or rhythm. They scream across the heavens, trailing smoke and fire that illuminates the clouds like molten rivers lighting up the night in horrifying beauty. Each impact sends a shudder through the ground beneath our feet, so deep it feels like the planet itself is heaving under the weight of destruction. Towns, cities, forests, rivers, everything familiar, transformed in moments into charred landscapes and crumbling ruins. The horizon glows red, as if the sun itself has fallen and ignited the earth in a blaze that mirrors the chaos above. The air is thick with smoke and ash. Every inhalation burns the lungs. Every step crunches beneath feet, coated in dust and debris. And still the sky continues to rain down destruction relentlessly. No pause, no mercy, no pattern that we can predict. Every falling star is a story of annihilation, a reminder that the world we built was fragile, that every plan we made was just an illusion against forces too vast to name, and we feel it in our bones, in our hearts, in the tightness in our chests, as if the universe is pressing down on us, reminding us of our insignificance. We think of those we love, those we've lost, those who might not make it through the next strike. The thought twists in the mind like a blade. We try to run, but there's nowhere to go. We try to hide, but the fire finds us in our shelters, in our streets, in our dreams. And still the sky pours its fury down, unrelenting. Every flash of light, a hammer strike, every distant explosion, a drumbeat of inevitability. And we watch because we cannot look away. Because every glance at the burning heavens is a measure of our existence. Every falling star, a punctuation in the story of our survival. And even as despair claws at our hearts, even as the world seems to crack apart piece by piece, we are forced to stare into the abyss above and ask the question over and over, is this how it ends? And yet beneath that terror is a strange pulse of defiance, a small, stubborn flame that whispers, maybe not. Maybe some of us will endure. Maybe some of us will see beyond the fire and the smoke and the shattering sky. And even as the night rages around us, we cling to that thought, and we keep watching, because what else is there to do? What else can we do but face the burning sky and measure our lives against the falling stars and the weight of a universe that will not stop until it has had its way? Maybe this is the ending we were never prepared for. Not a slow fade, not a warning, not a moment to brace ourselves, but a sudden blinding truth crashing down from above, tearing the sky open like it was always meant to break. And as you stand there staring into the burning heavens, that question burns through your mind, heavier than the smoke settling across the horizon. Is this how it ends? Is this the moment everything we built, everything we believed in, finally collapses under a storm of falling stars? For some, the answer will be yes for some. This firestorm will be the last thing their eyes ever see, the last sound they ever hear, the last breath they ever pull into lungs, already choking on smoke. For some, this is the night the world decides their story is over, and it doesn't wait for them to accept it. It doesn't wait for them to be ready. It just takes the truth is brutal, unforgiving, and it strikes without hesitation. Some won't make it through the next impact. Some already haven't. And their silence hangs heavy in the air, like a shadow stretching across every burning mile. And you feel it in your bones, in the hollow ache in your chest that knows the world is thinning, that voices are going quiet, that footsteps are stopping forever, and yet you stand there because you have to, because something inside you refuses to fall with the sky, even when everything around you screams that this is the end, and the fire keeps falling relentless, merciless, carving itself into the earth and into your memory, each blast shaking the ground like the planet is crying out under the weight of extinction, each flash turning night into a nightmare of light that burns the edges of everything you thought was safe. The world is smaller, now, darker, even in all this fire, because every minute someone else disappears into the smoke. Every minute the weight of those who won't see another sunrise grows heavier, and you carry it even if you don't want to, even if you're not ready, because this is what's left. This is what survival feels like, standing under a sky that wants to crush you, wondering if you'll be next. Wondering if the next streak of fire has your name carved into it, wondering if the universe has already decided your fate, while you're still trying to breathe, still trying to hold on, still trying to understand what it means to exist under a collapsing firmament. And still that question pulses through you like a heartbeat. Is this how it ends? Is this how the final page is written, in fire and smoke and shattered stone? And maybe it is for some. Maybe this night is the last line of their story. But you're still here, still standing under the burning sky, still breathing against the weight of the falling stars, still refusing to let this be the final word. And maybe that's what matters. Maybe that's what keeps the world from dying completely. That somewhere beneath this storm of fire, someone like you still looks up, and even through the terror thinks, not yet, not like this, not today. But for others, for us, For the ones still standing in the glow of a burning horizon, we survive, we endure, we push forward even when the odds feel impossible, even when each impact feels like the world ending in fragments scattered across the earth. We keep moving because that's all we know how to do. We've been shaped by struggle long before the sky cracked open, carved by hardship, sculpted by every loss, every wound, every moment. Life tried to break us. Survival isn't something we learned. It's something we became. It's instinct. Now it's muscle memory. It's in our breath, our bones, our heartbeat that refuses to slow even when the world tells it to. We adapt. We fight back. We take one more step. Even when the ground shakes beneath us, even when the fire rains down, even when everything screams that there's no path left, we still find one because stopping has never been an option. Not for the ones who crawled through darkness before this, not for the ones who've watched everything fall apart and still refused to fall with it. Not for the ones who understand that survival isn't a choice. It's who we are. And for those of us still listening, still clinging to whatever shelter, still breathing through the static and the smoke, still waiting for the next blast without letting fear take the last piece of us. That's our promise. We won't stop. Not now. Not ever. As long as the signal survives, as long as a single voice can still cut through the darkness, as long as someone somewhere is holding on by a thread, we will keep going. We will endure the fire, the fear, the trembling earth, the falling sky, because if the world is going to collapse, then we will be the ones who stand in the wreckage unbroken as long as there's breath left in us. As long as there's a sky to burn, we endure together. We've been through so much already. The world has broken. The systems we once relied on are gone. The routines, the order, the structure that made life feel predictable have all collapsed into dust. But there's still something left. Something that refuses to die even when everything else is falling apart. The desire to survive, the will to fight the instinct that wakes up inside us when the sky is burning and the ground is shaking, telling us to move, to breathe, to push forward no matter what stands in our way. We've lost homes, cities, people we loved. We've watched the world twist into something unrecognizable. And yet here we are, still standing, still holding on to whatever strength we have left, still choosing to live. Even when the world tries to take that choice away, survival isn't comfort. It isn't peace. It's grit. It's stubbornness. It's the fire inside that refuses to be extinguished, even while the heavens rain fire down on us. That's what remains after everything else has been stripped away. The will to keep going. The urge to fight for whatever scraps of tomorrow. We can still reach the strength to rise again. Even when the world tells us we shouldn't be able to, that's what's left. And that's enough to keep us moving through the darkness, through the smoke, through the storm that refuses to end. The meteor storm is a sign, a symbol of everything we've lost and everything we still have left. It's the sky tearing open to remind us how fragile we are, how quickly everything can change, how small we really stand beneath the weight of the universe. But it's also a reminder that even when the world is burning, there are still voices refusing to go silent. There are still hands gripping hope, even when it feels like smoke slipping through our fingers. As long as there are those still holding on, those still looking to the sky, not in fear, but in defiance, in determination, in the stubborn belief that this isn't the end, then we will keep broadcasting. We will keep the signal alive. We will push our voices through the fire, through the static, through the trembling earth and the choking air, because this message, this connection is all we have left. As long as there's breath in our lungs, as long as the tower still stands. as long as a single wire carries the faint echo of a voice, we keep the message going. We keep speaking into the void until the void speaks back. We hold the line. We refuse to fade. We endure. So wherever you are, in whatever shelter you've found, just remember, you are not alone. Not in this. Not at this moment. We may be scattered, isolated fragments across a world that's tearing itself apart. But we are still here, still breathing, still watching, still listening. The sky may be falling. The world may be burning meteors, tearing through the heavens, fires consuming the ground beneath our feet. But even in this chaos, we have each other, even in the smoke, in the tremors, in the relentless roar of destruction. We are connected by the same fear, the same determination, the same stubborn will to survive. And that connection, even faint through static and distance, even faint through fire and ash, is enough to keep us moving, to keep us standing, to keep hope alive in a world that feels like it's ending but isn't yet finished with us yet. So hold on, hold fast. Remember that you are not alone. We are still here together, in the darkness, watching the sky burn and waiting for whatever comes next. And as long as there's a signal, we keep going, we keep surviving, we keep hoping, and we will never stop, no matter how heavy the air gets, no matter how bright the fire in the sky burns, no matter how loud the world screams around us, as long as one voice reaches another, as long as one heartbeat echoes through the static, as long as one spark refuses to die, we endure. The ground may shake, the sky may fall, the old world may crumble into dust, but the signal lives as long as we breathe, as long as we refuse to let the silence win. This isn't surrender, this isn't defeat, this is the last thread holding the world together, and we hold it tight because stopping means giving up. And giving up is something we never learned how to do. So the broadcast continues, the fight continues, the hope continues, and we keep going. Not because it's easy, not because it's safe, but because it's all we have left, and all we need to keep pushing through the fire, and the dark, and the falling sky forever if we must.